Welcome back to the BetCanada channel. I am your host, Jeff Lloyd. We did the best of the NFC. We did the NFC East featuring the Super Bowl champions. If we're going to start in the AFC, makes sense to start with the team that competed in the AFC Super Bowl. That, of course, would be the Kansas City Chiefs, led by Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelsey, and, of course, defensive line stalwart Chris Jones. Every time this year, when you're talking about the Kansas City Chiefs football team, the conversation usually begins at the same aspect. Are the Chiefs still the top team in the AFC? And we'll try to get to some of the answers of that as we go through this preview. Certainly, the Chiefs last year, it was a different year. There were times where they were competing till the end of fourth quarter, almost week in, week out. And the Chiefs came atop of a lot of those victories last season against their AFC foes. But the rest of the AFC is just not going to go away. You have teams like Baltimore, you have teams like Buffalo. There are certainly teams within the AFC West between the Los Angeles Chargers, the Denver Broncos, the Las Vegas Raiders are now certainly new, different, kind of exciting, all looking to kick Kansas City out of the top of the AFC West. There are some things to like as far as what Kansas City has done this year towards the roster. Last year, they spent their first round pick on left tackle Kingsley Suamataia. After a short period of time, they realized that Suamataia was probably not fit for the left tackle position in the NFL. They wasted no time and they kicked him inside, put a veteran guard on the left side for the end of the regular season and their playoff run. It proved to be a good situation for the Kansas City Chiefs, but it also proved that it was probably not going to be a sustainable situation for the Chiefs. They took their first round selection and drafted left tackle Josh Simmons out of the Ohio State University. Simmons, injured his final year in Columbus, is already participating in rookie activities and, of course, in team mini camps. So all signs look good that Simmons will be ready to go day one for the Kansas City Chiefs as the new blindside protector for Patrick Mahomes. They are going to get a big jump in their receiving room. This team went almost the entire season without wide receiver Rashay Rice. Rashay Rice became a huge, huge factor in their offense in 2023. And at times, you could see the loss of Rashay Rice for this team in 2024. Rice is not your typical wide receiver. He is a bigger, stronger, physical guy. There's really not much difference in size between Rice and a lot of tight ends that play in the NFL nowadays. So it makes him a real difficult cover for some teams. He is just so physical at the line. There are not a lot of corners that can handle him. And the ones that try, he knocks away like a gnat in the summertime. So the return of Rice now, with speedsters like Xavier Worthy and Hollywood Brown, this really gives the Chiefs a huge, huge advantage because you can just not cover them in any one way. They can challenge you vertically. They are great over the middle. They are great on the underneath game. And Travis Kelsey returning. There was some speculation about whether or not Kelsey was going to basically ride off into the sunset after last season. He chose to come back and basically cited the fact he didn't really feel comfortable walking away from this team after losing the Super Bowl. Kelsey now may not be the productional guy and give you that type of output that he had in years past in the early years of his career, and that's completely understandable. But the thing is just Kelsey's presence on the field. You can't ignore him. So he requires, somebody, a defensive end, to get their hands on him and then basically release him to the underneath coverage, which would either be a safety or a linebacker. And while you have to have your eyes on number 87, you then also have to deal with Rice. You have to deal with Worthy. You have to deal with Hollywood Brown, all guys that are capable of giving you big playability. If there is one concern I maybe have about the Chiefs offense, it doesn't seem like much was put into the running back room. And last year, as much as I like the type of running back Isaiah Pacheco is, a physical running back, takes on a lot of contact. At times, Isaiah Pacheco is his own worst enemy. The injuries that he deals with, the time missed, when you are a running back and a lot of your game is just based on being physical, odds are you're going to be a guy that misses some time. And that certainly has been something that's kind of been an Achilles heel for Pacheco. Kareem Hunt was re signed after what was a great resurgence for Hunt and the team that he was originally a part of. And he had a really productive year last year for Kansas City. But the odds are not there that Kareem Hunt is going to do this again in 2025. And Hunt, who has never been the overall just gifted athletic running back, as time goes on, he seems to lose a little bit more and more of that. With the Browns, that was something that was evident. What little athleticism he had was starting to wane away. And although his overall production was great for the Kansas City Chiefs, you look at the yards per carry and you saw that that number was not a great number. A lot of his production was aided by, big runs, big explosive plays. But don't get me mistaken here. He can still be a huge contributor for the Kansas City Chiefs as a receiver out of the backfield, something that will certainly help this team. We hope you're enjoying this video as we begin our AFC West previews. We have obviously done the NFC East to this point. Our next video, we will get to a team that I think might be one of the more exciting teams to keep your eye on in the 2025 season. And that, of course, is the Los Angeles Chargers. Defensively, when you get to the Chiefs, you start with Chris Jones because as much as you want to mention Patrick Mahomes, you want to mention Travis Kelsey, and you want to use the word dynasty, that's fine. But Chris Jones has been just as big a part of this for the Kansas City Chiefs as either Mahomes or Kelsey has been. The thing that makes Jones such a special talent is you look for guys who just become big performers in big spots late in games. And that has kind of been Chris Jones's calling card his entire time within the NFL. When the Chiefs need a big defensive play late in the game, the odds are normally good that Chris Jones is going to be the guy that gets it for you. You have pass rushers in George Karlaftis, who's been a really nice addition and has grown really well over his time with Kansas City. Mike Dana is another guy that has been a key presence for the Chiefs in pass rush. You also get to Charles Omenihu, certainly another guy that has been a big contributor after getting after the other team's quarterbacks. Not a lot of teams play three linebackers anymore in the modern day NFL. Well, when you're talking about Mike Pettin and the Kansas City Chiefs, oh, yeah, linebackers are gonna be a part of it. Drew Tranquil has been a really good player when his addition into Kansas City, pairing well with Nick Bolton. Leo Chanel can do the basic linebacker stuff on early downs and is also shown to be an effective pass rusher as well for the Kansas City Chiefs late in the game and in nickel situations and dime situations. You get to the secondary, and Trent McDuffie has been a special player since the day he arrived in Kansas City and has been a key contributor for this Chiefs defense over the last few seasons. You brought in Christian Fulton. He will probably go outside in nickel and dime situations when Trent McDuffie kicks inside. Jalen Watson, a former seventh round pick in 2022, he's the bigger, longer, more physical guy, and he is shown to be a guy that's run a couple of corners off the Kansas City roster just due to his overall play. The Chiefs know how to find talent late on day three. When teams are good, and they have been good, roster construction for them is not that difficult because they ideally know exactly what they are looking for. So it makes it easy to find those late round gems. The safety position, Jaden Hicks is starting to come on now as a second year player, a former day three pick. Brian Cook was a player out of Virginia a few years ago, was a fantastic player at Virginia. And I don't think people understood just how useful a piece he was. Well, the Kansas City Chiefs leave no stone unturned. And Brian Cook has been a huge contributor to this team for years now and a key part of that back end of that secondary. You talk about it, 3 out of the 5 starters for the Kansas City Chiefs in the secondary were all players that they drafted in the 2022 draft. You throw in Hunter, Matt Ariaza, great leg, boomer, kicker Harrison Butker has been steady Eddie for the Kansas City Chiefs for quite some time now. The Chiefs, it's going to be it's off-road. They're the hunted team each and every year. You have teams like Los Angeles, Baltimore, Buffalo, Cincinnati, all these teams every year. What is the goal? The goal is to find a way to make yourself better than the Kansas City Chiefs. It'll be fun to watch as the Chiefs try to hold everyone off yet here again in the 2025 season, but they are so seasoned. They have been there for so long. Nothing ever really shakes or rattles this franchise. They have been in key moments a million times over the last 7, 8 years, and they always find a way to rise above it. Can they do it again in 2025? We're all going to sit back and watch. We appreciate you watching this video. YouTube thinks that you will love it, and that we over here at BetCanada think you will as well. Make sure you check out the NFC East previews. Make sure you stick around after this and get a preview on the Los Angeles Chargers. Chief Floyd, BetCanada channel. Appreciate everybody for listening along.